Good morning, I'm Simon Daniel, founder of Moixa. We're an energy storage company making a smart battery, like a mini Tesla, for mass market homes. And we make an aggregation platform to manage millions of these batteries as a grid service. We're the largest example in the UK, work for government and most of the big six. With about £6 or £7 million prior investment from government and also equity investors, including big six CEOs. And we're currently raising a £3 to £5 million round to scale the business further. We have a Japanese utility investing in that round. And our aim is really to be the mass market Dell type smart battery to go in every customer home. Some of our competitors like Tesla are more like a prosumer Bang & Olufsen. We want to work with most customers, most utilities as partners. The UK is a very interesting market for scale up. Household energy prices are increasing, intermittency is increasing from renewables, peak energy infrastructure is driven by households. So putting a battery in a home helps reduce peak demand, which helps the grid save money. Indeed, the Prime Minister had us in a report last Monday saying that batteries can help save over $4 billion a year out of customer bills. Smart meters need something to do and manage, and there's a number of new mechanisms in the UK market to help grid services. UK is a very good market for solar, having 850,000 homes with solar installed. America has 1 million homes, so we have a disproportionate number of homes in the UK which are solar. What Moixa does is work with utilities. Indeed, we won a number of recent projects, including a smart island project with Hitachi a couple of weeks ago to do the Isle of Scilly, where we'll put batteries in, manage EVs, and help aggregate power on the islands. The island lost its cable to the mainland in Cornwall, so currently running off diesel fumes. And given we have an island strategy to disconnect ourselves from Europe, the role of batteries in enabling people to have control of their energy is quite interesting. We've won a couple of products with utilities and oil companies recently to demonstrate how batteries can help their customer propositions to improve how they offer lower cost energy to customers. In terms of what Moixa does is we make our own hardware as a smart battery and make margin from that. We make an aggregation platform to manage our batteries and manage third parties. It's a bit like iPod made a device and then iTunes managed lots of devices. We're doing that to enable batteries to be managed as a grid scale resource. We work with utilities and social housing and property owners to put fields and clusters of batteries out in property, which collectively form a virtual power plant. So we work with a lot of funding providers looking at how assets could fund this category. We think there'll be about £10 billion of assets in storage by 2020. A few billion of that will be behind the meter in products like ourselves, producing a good and growing return as storage helps both the end customer save money, it helps the network save money, it helps utilities offer lower cost energy, and helps the system save money. UK has to spend a couple £100 billion updating its infrastructure, and they need multi-billion pounds of storage within that to manage the wrong time of day production of solar and wind. Our battery itself is very compact, designed to go into mass market homes as a simple 1 hour retrofit. This makes it easy to install, a bit like a skybox, delivering benefit for the end customer. Our platform really manages these batteries, providing both data to the end user and data to the stakeholder, enabling these batteries to be traded for daily income, help lower costs of energy by storing spare solar or accessing night energy. And indeed, in other countries, and indeed in the UK, you get negative energy sometimes during the day. So you get paid to actually use energy, and batteries can take advantage of those price and rate arbitrage opportunities. And then by grouping batteries together, you can help the network defer capital from upgrading wires, and grouping them in aggregates, you end up with a power plant. If I put 1 million batteries in people's homes, that's like a virtual Denorig pumped hydro plant. So we get that income by working with the grid for grid services. And then locally, we get the income by deferring capital, and then from households and utilities. So having batteries is a good way to access a range of different revenues into the future. From a household perspective, if you put a battery in, you store spare solar or access night tariff to reduce what you use from the grid in the evening. And this saves you money and the grid save money. So this might translate to £200 to £400 saving a year back to the household, or income to the asset provider. We've offered a bundle of solar plus storage at £5,000 installed. So on our stand 47, you can buy a battery and solar for £5,000 installed, and this would obviously reduce your energy bill. What's interesting is when we target this at pensioners and large social housing groups, to pay for energy is typically £1,000 a year, so you need £100 a month income to pay for energy costs. And so each home needs a £35,000 to £40,000 income product to pay for energy over a 10 to 20 year period. So if you spend some of that money on energy improvements in a home, it translates to as a very good investment. And indeed, we think about 10% of pension money in the country goes into energy costs. So energy efficiency is a very good basic investment class, which saves the money and the system money. We work with a number of clients in the UK, from big six utilities to network operators to the government, demonstrating how storage can be delivered for a range of services. In terms of our funding, we're currently raising up to 5 million this quarter, with a close early next quarter, to scale some of our activity, and then later in the year we'll do a further round, partly funding assets. Indeed, companies in the sector have done multiple rounds and multiple valuations intra-year. In the US, Tesla is obviously a large-scale battery company. We're like Tesla for the mass market. There's a company there called STEM, which has raised $200 million and $200 million of asset funding. They're targeting a larger battery into industrial demand. We think in Europe, domestic batteries are more important because the shape of the electricity grid in Europe is driven by household demand at peak. So putting a battery in a home is a growth class. There's a company in Sonnen which raised $80 million last year in Germany. And so in Europe, there's really Moixa in the UK as the lead in the UK. Sonnen makes a sort of larger battery in Germany. And we're sort of at the forefront of a new class of product, and which really helps the renewables work. In the UK, there's a lot of solar, a lot of wind. In Germany, the result of having too much solar and wind is the grid switches off during the day. So storage is really the only way to help the grid work and the utility system ultimately save money. And so we see a number of successful trajectories with our company. We're off market. We may go to market next year. There's a lot of trade sale activity going on in our sector. Engie bought a company from America very recently. But storage itself is a significant asset class, growing both on companies involved providing services like Moixa, as well as in storage becoming an asset class to enable the solar system or the wind system to truly work. There's more information at moixa.com. We have a stand 47. If you're interested in product or want to learn more about the company, please come and visit us. Thank you.